I'm Quinn. This is Open Awareness Yoga. Today we are working with the first two chakras actually, and I'm going to try to marry the kind of more esoteric chakra energetic anatomy with the physiological anatomy of our bodies, as well as some creative stuff with sound and with color. So you can just practice in whatever way makes you most comfortable. We need the normal props for today: 2 blocks or 2 hardback books, a blanket or a bath towel, and a yoga strap or a belt or some alternative. And then we're going to get started in a child's pose. Okay, so make sure your props are nearby. And then find your way back, hips to heels, legs spread a little wider than the torso, so that when you bring your forehead down to the ground, the sides of your torso just rest on your inner thighs. And here you might even bend the elbows and bring the palms closer to the face, or even stack the palms and place your forehead down on them. Make yourself as comfortable as possible here in this child's pose. And tune into your breath. Breathe in and out through your nose if that's possible. And feel your backside body expand with inhales. And your entire body relax a little bit more with every exhale you take. Taking a few conscious moments here to come into your practice, to separate yourself from regular daily life and enter this space of an hour where you cultivate a relationship with yourself. Acknowledging that some days are easier to come to the mat and others are harder. Now direct your attention to your pelvic floor. So that's the space between your 2 sitting bones and between the pubic bone and tailbone, right at the base of your torso. Notice if you can feel your breath in the musculature of the pelvic floor. As you inhale, the pelvic floor naturally expands, stretches, like you're blowing up a balloon, and it's stretching it out. And as you exhale, the pelvic floor naturally contracts and draws in towards center and slightly up and towards your body. And this is more or less the location of the first chakra, muladhara chakra, which is an energy center in the body, right in front of the spine, right at the level of the pelvic floor, the center line of the body. And as you breathe here, as a way to visualize this energy center, you might picture the color red. And every inhale breath sends bright red into this location, and every exhale breath, that red spreads, filling your lower pelvis and spreading down your legs. And I'll introduce to you here also the seed sound, the bija mantra of this chakra. It's almost like the song that the chakra responds to. In Muladhara chakra, the seed sound is lam. And if you'd like, you might on inhale silently repeat to yourself om, and as you exhale out loud, sing lam. So it's a silent om as you inhale, and a vocal lam as you exhale. And finish up. And we'll make our way onto the back. Knees bent, feet on the floor, as we often begin class. And bring your palms to your low belly. Adjust yourself so you're comfortable. And feel how your breath moves the skin of your low belly. So now we're finding the second chakra, swadhisthana, which is more or less around the navel, maybe slightly below your navel, at the center line of the body, again, in front of the vertebrae of the spine. It's called the sacral chakra. It's also located in front of the sacrum, which is the bony landmark at the base of the spine, something that we'll be working a lot with today. And to use your imagery and color to relate to this energy center, swadhisthana glows orange. So as you inhale, imagine you're sending the color orange into this chakra. And as you exhale, feel that color spreading to fill the pelvis, from navel to pubic bone. And to add the bija mantra here, inhale your silent om, and exhale vam. Vam. Just establishing a connection to the lower two chakras here. We'll add in some movement. So you might guess we're going for pelvic tilting. As you inhale, you arch the back. You'll press down the tailbone. And a little mouse hole will appear at the lumbar spine. And as you exhale, you flatten your low back, closing off any space between your low back and the mat. And you might even stick with that silent om and vocal vam as you move here, especially if that's something that you're enjoying. Slow your movement down so that you get a real feel for the connection of your sacrum onto the earth as you rock back and forth. I want you to draw your attention to what's going on with your tailbone as you arch and flatten. And you'll notice as you arch, the tailbone presses down into the ground, and then the top of the sacrum moves further into the body. So it's like a seesaw. The tailbone is at the base of the sacrum. As you flatten, the tailbone lifts in the sky, and the top of the sacrum presses down towards the ground. So again, this seesawing motion. For some anatomical terms that you don't have to remember, as you arch and the top of the sacrum draws further in towards the body, this is called nutation. And it is a slight movement of your sacrum and its joint. As you flatten, it's counter-nutation as the top of the sacrum moves towards the floor beneath you. We'll come back to this from a standing position. If it doesn't make sense, if it's confusing you, just forget about it. It took me pretty much a year to really get this down. So let it just be an introduction, if that's what you need right now. All right, finish up here, finding a neutral spine, so you're not in an arch or flatten, but right in between. And pull your knees into your chest. Here your sacrum is counter-nutating as the tailbone lifts and the top of the sacrum presses further down towards the ground. Then we'll find a happy baby. So bring the soles of the feet up to the sky. Reach around to grab your outer shins or maybe the backs of your thighs. If you prefer, you can lower your feet down towards your groin. Keep your knees wide and you're in sort of a butterfly pose. Either way is fine. Again, send your breath into your root, into the pelvic floor, and see if you can feel that alternating stretching and opening and contracting and closing of the pelvic floor as you breathe. Picturing the color red, filling the base of your torso and flowing down your legs. Bring your knees back together, pull them into the chest as we begin. And now cross the right leg all the way over the left leg, so your thighs touch. Knees into the chest, take an overhand grip on your shins, then pull your shins apart to get a stretch into the glutes. You might feel this the most on the right side if your right leg is on top. Breathe and feel aware of the red that's filling the basin of your pelvis and flowing down your legs. And adding the color orange, the second chakra between navel and pubic bone, filling that low abdomen area. And then change legs. Left leg on top. Take an overhand grip of your shins and pull them apart until you feel the stretch that you like. Deepen your hip. Smooth out your breath. And use the colors, red and orange, as an anchor for your mind during this hour. How curious can you get about this lighting up of the body? How concentrated can you stay on the pelvis and the legs? Uncross your legs, release the feet down to the floor. We'll take a figure 4 stretch. So right ankle crosses over left knee. Pull the left knee into the chest and interlace your fingers between your thigh and your calf. And maybe guide the right thigh a little further away from your torso. And breathe. Right now, we're working on stretching and loosening muscles that can grip onto the sacrum and create a bit of immobility or lack of movement through the pelvis, the sacrum, and the pelvic floor. And what we want is a dynamic body that alternates between release and contraction. The breath moves the body. Every breath you take. And any areas that are locked out or are not moving are areas that could use some fresh energy, some opening, and some work. Here we'll change sides. Place the feet back on the floor. Cross the left ankle over the right. Pull your right thigh into the chest. Press the left thigh further away from the torso. And return to the colors, red and orange, as you breathe. Release this side. Find your strap. And we'll take Supta Padangusthasana 1. So place this strap around the ball of your right foot. Send your right leg up into the sky. And if you'd like, you can straighten your left leg down towards the floor. If your hamstrings are tight today, bend and straighten your right knee a few times. Close your eyes. Bring your awareness to your root. And notice if you can feel a little baby arch and flatten happen as you breathe here with your legs in this position. And this will take 4 more rounds of breath with those seed sound mantras. We'll start with Lam for the root chakra. Inhale your silent Om. Exhale, Lam. Again. Lam. Moving to the sacral chakra, inhale Om and exhale Vam. Vam. Color orange. Vam. And slowly release to change sides. Same thing on this side. If you need some dynamic movement for the backs of the legs, do that. Pick your position of the right leg, bent or straight. As you breathe, find little baby pelvic tilts here. And we'll take those 4 breaths on this side. So first, color red, root chakra, seed sound lum. 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 Moving to swadhisthana, seed sound vam. 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 And slowly release. One more happy baby. Soles of the feet to the sky. Hold on to your outer foot, outer ankle, or the hamstrings. And find a little baby arch and flatten even here. So move your legs however they need to move so that you find that movement in your pelvis. And just notice if it's any different after the series of stretches that you just did. Stick with that color orange and red through the pelvis and down the legs. Release the legs and come onto hands and knees for cat-cow. Knees underneath the hips, palms spread wide underneath the shoulders. Pay attention to your sacrum, that bony landmark at the base of your spine, as you move through your cat-cows. Inhale to drop the belly, lift the tailbone and lift the heart. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the tail, tuck the chin. Just noticing that nutation and counter-nutation of your sacrum. So when your belly is dropping down towards the ground in cow pose, the sacrum is nutating. The top of the sacrum moves further in towards the body. And as you're in your cat pose, the tailbone's tucking and that top of the sacrum is closer towards your back skin. And come back to a neutral spine. Paw the hands forward, curl your toes under, and come into downward facing dog. You might bend and straighten the knees a few times. Press firmly down into your hands. Feel the arms straighten. Then walk your feet together. Come up onto your toes, straight legs as best as possible. Bring your awareness down into your root chakra in the color red. As you inhale, lift your right leg up and back behind you. Breathe. Exhale, pull the right knee into the chest and plant the foot forward between the hands. Lower your left knee down to the ground. Now, if you'd like to use your books or your blocks underneath your hands here, give yourself a little more space, you may do so. We'll move back into a hamstring stretch. So press down into your right heel. Begin to shift your hips back. Just straighten the right leg and lift the toes up towards the sky. And we'll crawl back forward into that low lunge, dropping the hips and lengthening through the left front thigh. A few more times here. Reaching your right sitting bone far back to stretch the right hamstring, then planting the foot to come back into your low lunge. 3 times total. Move with your breath. When you come back forward into your low lunge, plant your hands flat on the ground, curl your left toes under to lift the left knee, and then step back, downward facing dog, feet together, high on your toes. Imagine the color red, and add the color orange. As you inhale, lift your left leg up and back behind you. One more breath in here. Exhale, left knee to chest, plant the foot forward and lower your right knee down to the ground. Use books if you'd like. On an exhale breath, press down into the left heel, straighten your left leg as you shift the hips back, left toes to the sky. And inhale to crawl forward, sinking your hips. Exhale back, reaching the left sitting bone away from the back of the knee. Inhale forward. Soften your shoulders, lift your heart. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Stay. Plant your hands, curl your right toes under, lift your knee, and step back, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, walk your feet forward to your hands, come into a forward fold. Feet hips width distance apart, and use your books if it's tough to reach the floor. Bring your weight forward towards the ball mounds of your feet. Shake your head no slowly, asking the muscles along the side of your neck to release. And come back to that color red, right at the base of your torso, sliding down the legs. Add the color orange at the level of the navel, filling your pelvic bowl. As you inhale, come up halfway. So lengthen your spine, reach your heart forward. Hands can be on books or your outer shins. And now fly your arms behind you, palms facing towards one another. Roll your shoulders away from the ground. Press down through your feet, and as you inhale, come up to standing. Bring your hands to your hips, bend your knees slightly. And now place your hands along your low back. So finding the small of the back, find those two mounds on either side of your spine. So there's two little like valleys on either side of the spine, and then there's mounds that lift up. Lightly press your fingers into those mounds. With your knees bent, slowly do an arch and flatten here as you stand. It's a really small movement. Feel for the skin and the muscles underneath your fingers releasing and relaxing. If there's a place where you land that you can really feel that relaxation, you might stay there for a few breaths. Try to hold on to that soft sense underneath your fingers as you arch and flatten here one or two more times. I'm trying to release the muscles of the low back, which also pull on the sacrum and can lock us out. All right, release the hands down by the sides of the body. From the top of the thighs, draw them up to straighten your legs. Close your eyes. Feel the low back, soft, relaxed. The skin of the buttocks and the flesh of the buttocks dropping down towards the ground. And the color red and the color orange. As you inhale, lift your arms overhead. Low back still soft. Exhale, bring your palms to touch and come forward and down into your fold. Breathe in, come up halfway. Breathe out, find plank pose. Low back long, press down into your hands. Bring your knees down to the ground. Take an inhale breath to grow the heart forward. Exhale, lower slowly all the way down to your belly. Inhale for cobra pose, lift your heart. Feel your low back long. Exhale, downward facing dog. Make your way back. Inhale here. Exhale, walk your feet forward to the hands, fold down and in. Breathe in, come up halfway, heart grows long. Exhale, fold back down, red down your legs. Bend your knees and inhale to come all the way up to standing. Reach your arms overhead. Exhale, lower the hands by the sides of the body. Release the muscles of the low back. One more time. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, come up halfway. Exhale, plank pose. Breathe into your plank. Lower your knees. Exhale all the way down to the ground. Inhale, cobra, lift your heart, shoulders down. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in here. Breathe out, feet come forward, hang and fold. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale, fold back down and in. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, arms overhead. Exhale, release your hands down by the side of the body. All right, so now we're going to play around again with that sacral nutation and counter nutation using your hands to help. So you'll place your hands in front of your face just like this. So you'll be looking at the backs of your own hands, and we'll pretend that the hand is a sacrum. So you'll get this view of your hand. This is the tailbone where the wrist starts. This is what we've been calling the top of the sacrum, where your lumbar vertebrae land on top, okay? So what we're going to do in a moment is just make this movement with the hands. Okay, just a little bit of an angle, but right in front of your face like this. So this is what nutation and counter nutation is, okay? We're gonna add that in while bending and straightening the knees in a chair pose. So as you bend your knees in a chair pose, bring your fingers forward, just as I showed you. And this is what's happening at your sacrum. The top of the sacrum is moving deeper into the body. As you straighten your knees, pull your fingers back towards your face so your hands are vertical, and your sacrum is counter-nutating. So just a few times as you bend, the fingers press down. As you straighten, they pull back. Put your mind in your sacrum and use the visual image of your hands to help you get the sensation that your sacrum is indeed moving this way as you bend and straighten your knees. Okay, next time you bend your knees, stay. Feel the top of the sacrum move in towards the center of the body. So there's a natural curve in your lumbar spine without overdoing it, without going into a full-on arch. And inhale, bring the arms overhead. Now find that red glow at the base of your torso, muladhara chakra. Inhale, silent om. Exhale, lam. Inhale. Exhale, lam. Moving up swadhisthana. Inhale, silent om. Exhale, vam. Vam. Orange color. Inhale. Vam. Keep that glow in your legs. As you inhale, straighten the legs. As you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale for downward facing dog. Feet together. Inhale, lift your right red leg up into the sky. As you exhale, bring the right foot forward between the hands. Keep the left knee off the ground. Press down into the right heel. As you inhale, come up to a crescent lunge. I'm just going to turn around so you can see me in this next shape. Now open up into warrior two. Swivel your left heel down to the ground, left toes angled slightly in, right knee pressing open behind you. Bring one of your hands down to the low belly, representing that root chakra. The other hand to your back, right over your sacrum. Turn in, tune in to that red and orange color. 4 breaths here. Inhale, silent om. First 2, exhale, lam. Second 2 breaths, your exhale is vam. Keep your mind and your pelvis and your legs slowly transition to triangle pose. Hands stay where they are. Straighten your right leg. Bump your hips back. And lean the right side torso down towards your right thigh. If you'd like, you can release your right fingertips to the right calf or wherever they land on the leg. Left arm up to the sky. Head looks down, straight forward, or up at your left hand. 4 breaths here. First 2, the exhale is lam. Second 2, the exhale is vam. Stay with your red and your orange. Stay with your pelvis and your legs. Take your time when you're done with your breath. You'll slowly return to warrior two, this time with the arms up. Keep the red and orange, the connection to your legs. See if that changes your balance. As you pivot, over the right leg for a crescent lunge, just as we began. Now slowly lower your hands on the inside of your right leg. So both palms are on the inside of the right foot. Toe heel the right foot to the right and lower your left knee down to the ground. In a runner's lunge here. Stay with the red and orange in your legs. Find your version of runner's lunge. You might choose movement. You might choose to come down to one or both elbows. Your head can hang. And prepare to move out of this. If you're not already, come back up onto your palms. Curl your left toes under and lift the left knee. And then step back, downward facing dog. Feet together. Inhale your left red leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it forward between the hands. Press down through the left heel and the right toes as you inhale, come up to that crescent lunge. Now open into warrior two. Swivel the right heel down to the ground. Press this left knee back. Now bring the opposite hand down to represent the low chakra and one hand on the sacrum at your back. 4 breaths here. First 2 are red, lum, root. Second 2, orange, vam, sacral. When you're done with your breath, stay with the color, stay with your legs, and slowly transition to triangle pose, Utthita Trikonasana. Maybe opening your arms up. 4 breaths here. First 2, exhale, lum, red streams down the legs. Second 2, exhale, vam, orange fills the pelvic basin. When you're ready, make your way back to warrior two, arms out to a T this time. Ground down through your legs and your visualization of the color. As you turn towards your left, lift your left or your right heel off the ground, crescent pose. Slowly lower the arms to the inside of the left foot, toe heel the left foot to the left and lower your right knee down to the ground. Runner's lunge on this side. Make it your own. Breathe and open the hips. Check in with your pelvic floor, the shape of the sacrum. And your connection to the earth. Make your way back up onto your palms if you've moved down. Lift the right knee off the ground. Slowly step left foot back, downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward to your hands, forward fold. Hang out here. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Slowly roll up to standing. So take a quarter turn, step your legs wide on your mat. Do a couple of poses from here. Hands on your hips. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, hinge at your hips and bring your hands down to the ground or to your books. Breathe in here in the half lift position. As you exhale, walk your hands back and come down to your depth today. Let's take those 4 breaths here. Inhale, silent Om. Exhale, Lam. Filling the legs with that vibration. Inhale. Exhale, Lam. Moving to orange. Inhale. Exhale, Vam. Filling your pelvis with that vibration. Inhale. Exhale, vam. Inhale, come back up halfway, spine is long. Toe heel your feet in about half a foot. Bring your hands to your hips, pull your elbows together behind you, and inhale to come up to standing. Turn the toes slightly out so the heels are in. Bend your knees and make sure that the knee agrees with the ankle. So your knee should be more or less at the center of the foot. We're going to be here for a while, so this doesn't have to be the lowest horse stance you've ever taken. Bring your hands to your low belly, or if you prefer, you can bring one hand to your sacrum behind you. I'm watching the clock. We'll be here for 2 minutes. You are, of course, welcome to take breaks if you need them, but challenge yourself. As long as your knees don't hurt, let's tune in to that red, that strength of our root, draining down the legs, and that orange, the creativity and nurturance in our pelvic basin. Let's take 4 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, lum. Lum. Silent om. Vam. Vam. Now stay, that was 1 minute. Bring the arms out to a T. The root chakra is our stability. It's our groundedness, our foundation. It relates to the element of earth. The sacral chakra is our creativity, our passions, our desire, and it relates to the element of water and movement. So here, let's twist to one side, moving. Twist to the other side. Keep your legs bent. Come to center and side bend. Lift one arm overhead. Come back up through center, side bend the other direction. Back up through center one more time. Twist. Twist. Center. Side bend. Other side. Back to center. Bend the knees a little deeper and straighten. Toe heel the feet together. Stand in Tadasana, feet hips width distance. Slight bend to the knees. Soften the low back. Turn your palms to face forward. Close your eyes. Just feel the quality of your pelvis and your legs. Do you feel more grounded, more rooted to the earth? How does your breath feel? Inhale, lift your arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Hang out here. Inhale, come up halfway. And you might find your blanket or your books, fold them in a way that you can put them underneath your heels. Next, we'll come into a squat. So if you can't keep your feet together for your squat, you might try that. Your feet are together, your knees come wide. You can also bring your feet wider than hips width distance, toes turn slightly out, and then sink your hips low. So you'll notice if you need more height underneath your heels, if your heels are still lifted off of the ground. So fold your blanket more, place the books underneath you. If for whatever reason your knees don't like this today, try one more round of that horse stance. I know it's asking a lot, but you can do it, as long as you're not in pain. Now here, crawl the fingertips forward between the legs and let the back round. Let the head hang. Notice your sacrum in counter nutation. So your tailbone is drawing forward and the top of the sacrum is closer to the skin of the back. Allow that to happen and breathe. Soften your toes, soften your shoulders.
And feel your pelvic floor. As you inhale, it widens, stretches. As you exhale, it draws in and up. No need to do anything. Just watch as that happens. Last few moments here. As you inhale, bring your spine long, like when we come up halfway. Rock your weight forward into your toes, press your fingers or hands down into the ground, and then step your way back into a downward facing dog. Straighten the knees one at a time, opening the backs of the knees after that deep flexion. I'm going to bring the knees down to the ground and find your towel once more. So here, you're going to fold your towel just once over, and then hold it from one corner, okay? Twist the towel into a sort of cone shape. So you've got the point of the cone and a thicker part in the back. Okay, you're going to place this underneath you. We're going to sit on top of it. So the point will be facing forward, and you'll sit your sit bones just right down on the rest of the blanket. Then bring the legs out into a straddle. So bring the legs out wide. Now this is going to stimulate the pelvic floor and also help us to rock the pelvis forward. If you don't feel that rocking forward of your pelvis, you probably need more height underneath you. So you can either scoot backwards to a thicker part of your blanket, or just fold your blanket like you normally do in this pose and sit your hips up on top of it. And if for whatever reason this is totally uncomfortable and you don't want to do it, you can just sit up on top of your blanket. That's fine. Now here, fingertips go behind you. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart, and breathe. Feel the big muscles of your thighs softening and the thigh bones dropping down towards the floor. And then if you've got that feeling of nutation in your sacrum, so if the top of the sacrum feels like it can move further into your body, move it further into your body and begin to hinge forward. Tailbone's moving behind you. Sacrum, top of sacrum moves in towards the center body, and only go so far as you're able to maintain that nutation so that we don't actually press the top of the sacrum back towards the back skin. We don't tuck the tail. And from there, breathe. If you'd like, you can return to that bija mantra, focusing on red, the seed sound, lam. Focusing on orange, the seed sound, vam. And slowly sit yourself back up. Now choose if you'd like to stay on your blanket or if you'd like to change it up. Here we'll come into Baddha Konasana, so butterfly legs. Soles of the feet come together, pull the heels in towards the groin, open your knees wide. And again, notice if your pelvis is rocking forward, if the top of the sacrum is moving in towards the body. You need more height if you don't feel that. If you do feel that, and it feels like you have some space to hinge forward, try that on for size. And come back to that red and orange. Stay with your breath. And slowly sit yourself up. Bring your hands underneath your knees and pull your knees together. Come off of the kind of weird folds of the blanket. And then make it into a smoother fold, or sit up on your books. And bring your legs straight out in front of you. And you might need your strap here to reach your feet. And take first Janu Shirshasana. So take your right hand on the inner right knee, turn the right leg open, and then keep the knee close to the ground as you pull it back. Grab your ankle and bring your right foot either in contact with the inner left thigh or right heel to right inner thigh. Okay. Take the hands, one on either side of the left leg, and rotate your torso to the left, lining up your sternum with the inner line of your left leg. Now here, lead with your sternum to bring your chest down towards your leg. You can grab your strap, loop the strap around your foot, maybe hold on to the foot, or maybe keep the fingertips on the floor, growing the spine long. And here, just notice the sacrum. And it's in an interesting position in this shape. Can you feel that bone? And can you imagine what it looks like? How it's rotated? And very slowly, lift yourself back up. Bring your hands underneath your right knee. Bring the knee to the sky and then scoot your right hip so that it's even with your left. Straighten the right leg. Then now, left hand, inner left knee. Turn the left knee open. Keep the left knee close to the ground as you pull that knee back to the outer hip. Reach forward, grab your ankle. Then find the position of your left foot to the right thigh. Hands on both sides of the right leg. Turn the torso to the right. Line up your sternum with the inner line of your right leg. Now here, lead with the sternum as you crawl the torso forward and find a hand position that works for you. Use the strap, grab your foot, or keep the fingertips on the ground. Close your eyes. Visualize your sacrum. Breathe slow. Allow the breath to move you. Allow your mind to settle, your thoughts to slow. Slowly bring yourself back upright. Left hand underneath left knee. Knee points to the sky, and then scoot your left hip even with the right. Straighten both of your legs. And we'll do Paschimottanasana, both legs straight. This time let's inhale, arms overhead. Lift up and lengthen both side waists. Nutate your sacrum. Bring the top of the sacrum in towards the center of the body. Now lower the hands to the floor in front of you, and any amount, crawl forward. Relax your head, relax your arms, relax your body into this forward fold. Slowly sit yourself up. We'll come into a Shavasana, or a guided chakra meditation. So we'll add in all the rest of the colors since we've been so focused on the first two chakras. We want to make sure we integrate the rest of the rainbow, really, the rest of the system. There are 7 chakras. There are actually more, but 7 main ones that we work with. And we'll go through each of them. So get yourself comfortable on your back. Maybe take out your ponytail or your glasses. If you feel a little cold, cover up with the blanket. If your low back feels tender, leave your knees bent with your feet on the floor. Bring the arms down along the sides of the body, palms facing up, so the shoulders are open, the chest is open. Let's start with the familiar red of the root chakra, of muladhara chakra. By now, I bet your attention can go right there to the pelvic floor, to the color red filling the very base of the pelvis and draining down the legs. And moving your awareness up to swadhisthana, the sacral chakra, in the color orange, also familiar. So the color orange fills the pelvis, the low abdomen, coloring all of the organs, glowing from your skin. Now we add on. The next color is yellow. The next chakra, solar plexus. Manipura. That's right at the base of your sternum, the low ribs. Imagine the color yellow glows with your breath and fills and floods the solar plexus area, the side waists, the upper abdomen, now drawing your awareness up to your heart, yellow turns to green. And green fills your chest, your heart, your lungs, along the front, sides, and back of your ribs. And the color green runs down your arms, pooling in your palms. Here at Anahata, the heart chakra. Now lifting your awareness up to your throat, green turns to blue. The color blue brightens, filling the throat and the low jaw, the muscles of the neck, your ears, Vishuddhi chakra. And lifting your awareness up once more to your third eye, Ajna chakra. Right at the space between your eyebrows, filling the midbrain, purple, fills the space of the skull, the eyes, the eye sockets, the back of the head. And as all colors of light blended together make white, we travel up to the crown chakra, right at the crown of your head, very top of the skull, and it's white light, like a fountain of light that fills the top of your head and drains down around you, forming this bubble of bright white light all around you. And within that bubble, you glow. From top to bottom, you glow. Purple at the third eye, blue at the throat, green at the heart, yellow at the solar plexus, orange at the sacrum, red at the root. Moving back up, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, white, white, purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Let the colors fill all of the shadows and the spaces, the nooks and the crannies and the secret places in your body. Feel the colors flooding every cell. So that you glow with this vibrancy, this fullness. Not only inside of your body, but outside of your body. Filling the room that you're in. Overflowing the room that you're in, filling the house, the building, the neighborhood even. Joining with the colors of other bodies. Glowing and filling the earth. Glowing like the atmosphere. Expanding. Now slowly begin to draw your awareness from outer space back down to your body, lying here on the floor in a pool of light that emanates from within. Bring your awareness back to the red and the orange, grounding you to the earth. Begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rock your head from side to side. And in your own time, stretch your arms overhead and lengthen the body long. Bend your knees. Roll to one side, curling up into the fetal position. Still glowing, nothing's changed. You just move off the floor. Turn your head down to the ground and slowly sit yourself up. Come to any comfortable seat with the spine upright. The white light of the crown stacked atop, the red light of the root, and all the colors in between. Bring your palms to touch in front of your heart. Deep breath in. Exhale to bow your chin, just to honor the time that you've spent here with yourself in this hour on your mat. Thank you.
Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.